LAC stock had a quiet regular session today, closing down just 2 cents, or about 0.35% at $5.71. But surprise, in the aftermarket, the ticker is popping tilde 19%, almost equal to plus $1.14. That divergence tells us that while the core story remains unresolved, expectations and positioning are alive and well. Tonight, we'll walk through what likely drove today's trading, whether this is just a continuation of last week's pullback, any signals that may hint at confirmation, and the setup heading into tomorrow. Let's start with the regular session. A nearly flat finish suggests that there was no meaningful shift in fundamentals during the day. The core driver, the widely reported talks of a U.S. government equity stake in Lithium Americas, tied to renegotiating its DOE loan for Thacker Pass, remains the central narrative in the market. Financial Times. +2. AP News. +2. There were no new filings, no official statements, no dramatic news breakouts that reshuffled the deck. The stock probably drifted as buyers and sellers negotiated around the risk that speculation is overextended. What's interesting is the surge in after-hours trading. That kind of move indicates that some market participants expect fresh confirmation or a news leak after the bell. Because after-hour sessions tend to have lower liquidity, even moderate buying pressure can lead to exaggerated moves. Traders may be positioning ahead of a possible catalyst, anticipating a filing, a press release, or a regulatory hint. The fact that LAC is rising now in the aftermarket also suggests lingering conviction in the narrative. After the sharp pullbacks earlier in the week, many may have been waiting for signs of confirmation before re-entering. The aftermarket pop reflects those buyers stepping back in on the thesis that the government stake story is still viable. Still, because this move happens outside of regular hours, it comes with caveats. Without backing in the regular session, it's vulnerable to reversal. If no news materializes, or if the leak is weak, this move can fade quickly. It's less about proof and more about expectation. Let's unpack why today's flat regular trade makes sense in this context. After a 2-day surge and then a sell-off, the market is in digestion mode. Buyers need more confidence. Sellers want confirmation that this thing isn't a mirage. In that equilibrium, the stock can trade sideways until a catalyst arrives. It's a natural pause in a volatile narrative. Given how spectacular the prior moves were, many traders likely sat on their hands today, waiting for something to tip the balance. In a sense, today was a calm before what could be a decisive move tomorrow, either confirming the story or breaking it. Now, what kind of catalysts could justify the after-hours move and carry into tomorrow? The most potent would be an official filing or press release from Lithium Americas, the DOE, the White House, or GM. An 8K, joint statement, or any confirmation that talks are progressing, or that a structure is nearing agreement, would be a game-changer. That's what traders may be expecting or hoping is coming. Another possibility is leaked details of deal terms, stake size, whether the government will take equity directly or via warrants or preferred stock, how much dilution might occur, or whether the DOE loan conditions will be reworked. Even if the announcement isn't full, a leak that includes terms or conditions could move sentiment sharply. A third trigger could be comments from authorities or regulators. For example, a DOE official hinting at approval, or a White House spokesperson acknowledging strategic interest in critical minerals, could lend legitimacy to the move. Additionally, movement in related names or sector news, e.g. news out of EV supply chain, lithium pricing, Chinese lithium production, or mining policy, could act as supporting fuel, giving traders confidence to lean into LAC. If none of that happens, the aftermarket bounce may be testing waters. The question is whether it holds or fades once the regular session resumes. Let's map out scenarios for tomorrow. Bull scenario: the after-hours surge carries into the regular session. A confirming statement or leak drops early, and LAC reclaims key resistance zones, pushing toward a retest of recent highs. In this scenario, the stock finds strength around $6 or above and may continue to reorder its base upward. Base consolidation scenario: LAC opens higher, perhaps gaps, but encounters resistance. It trades in a range, say between $5.80 and $6.30, as the market digests whatever hint or partial announcement is made. Volatility remains elevated, but the story holds in limbo until more clarity arrives. Bear or failure scenario: the after-hours bounce fails to carry. The stock opens weak, the leaked news is vague or disappointing, or there is silence from the parties involved. In that case, the stock could slip again, testing support zones and perhaps revisiting lower levels. Where should traders and investors be watching closely? Pre-market and early session activity will tell whether the after-hours move has staying power. If volume and price confirm strength, that tilts the setup toward the bull case. If the move looks weak or fades, that warns of rejection. Official news or filings, this is the key. If we see confirmation, even incremental, that will tilt narrative strongly back to the bull side. Sector lithium news. If lithium prices strengthen, or if EV battery chain policy picks up, that provides tailwinds to LAC beyond just the rumor itself. Technical zones. Resistance areas around $6.20 to $6.50. Support zones near $5.50 to $5.80. Watching how the stock behaves around those levels gives clues to conviction. Volume profiles. Is the aftermarket move backed by real volume or is it thin? A strong move without volume is suspect. If I were leaning now, I would say the after-hours move is an optimistic signal that at least some participants believe confirmation may be imminent. This is a turning point. Either the narrative is validated, or we see more weakness. But until we see something definitive, positioning remains speculative, and risk remains high. So in summary, Tuesday's regular session ended flat, highlighting ongoing uncertainty, but the 19% after-hours pop suggests that some market participants expect a catalyst. There's no new confirmed news in the regular session, meaning the core narrative is still unproven. If a filing, leak, or official comment arrives, it could move the stock sharply. Your video tonight should lean into that tension: what's expected, what would validate or break the story, and how traders should navigate tomorrow.